right, let's start. So, welcome to a brand new episode of Rahat Codes. My name is Rahat. I'm a full stack developer from New York. And if you've been following me for a little while, you know that I don't usually code. I mean, I code. I don't usually stream on a day other than Monday. Mondays are usually my nights, but today's a special stream, Saturday night. I just finished a little project I've been working on, which spun off of another side project. So, a little bit of context. Recently, I've been working on not only the stream, but also um, a full stack app that I'm going to be hopefully putting out soon, which is going to be a place where you can create an account and share different coding resources that you find online, and people can kind of rate them, share their experience using them, things like that. Kind of like a Yelp for coding courses, sort of. Now, I was building the backend for it, and I was building it on a stack that I know decently well, which is a Node, Express, MongoDB, and GraphQL backend. And I kind of had gone through my stream and talked about how to like build a sort of like a simple API with that stack. And now once again, I was doing it again for my own project. So I figured I probably going to use this again if I have like little ideas in the future. So why not make this easier for myself? And I decided to create what I call GraphGoose. That's probably what you see on the screen right now. This is an npm package CLI tool that I created, which will, once you run it, give you the choice of two different templates, both of which give you a nice little Node Express GraphQL API. It's just the backend for you to kind of play around with and maybe use as the base for your next project if you so choose. So I'm going to go through, do a little quick demo of it, show you all how to use it. And this is open source. So if you go through it, you want to contribute, I'm going to be sharing out the roadmap too. So hopefully get some people interested in here. So this is the npm package page. You can go through the regular npmi GraphGoose, but I set it up so you can just do an npx GraphGoose. So how does that work? You basically cd into whatever project or folder that you're going to be creating your new project in, and you just run npx GraphGoose, and everything else will get kind of taken care of for you. So you can run this even if you don't have GraphGoose installed on your computer. And while I'm streaming, I realized I have 6% left on my battery. So let's get that fixed up. There, now I won't die. All right. So once you run npx GraphQueue, it's going to ask you which template you want to generate. The quick start template is sort of based on what I was streaming for my first two episodes of Rahat Codes. So if you want to kind of figure out how to use that and need a little bit of a guide, you can check out those two streams. For today, I'm going to be demoing the modular start, which is really meant for if you're going to be building out like a larger API for you to be able to add more types, more and add to your schema in a way that it's easy to keep everything in its like own separate file. And I'll go through that in a little second. So enter a name for your project. We'll just do streaming demo. Cool. All right. So what's going to happen is this folder is going to be created using a template. So it will tell you you can cd into your streaming demo, and then to install, just use npm install, and then use your favorite code editor to get started, and to make sure that you put a MongoDB URI into your .env file. So this is still in beta. As I go through this, there's going to be a lot more features added to this. I do plan to make this output a little bit more pretty, but for now, just to get it working and get it out there, this is what it looks like. And remember, it's okay to put stuff out that isn't completely done. Just put it out there and see what happens. So let's cd into streaming demo. Cool. Run npmi. I don't like typing install because I'm lazy. So I just do an npmi. Let that kind of do its thing. It's taking quite a little bit. Um, But yeah, while I'm doing this, if you do enjoy the stream, like what you hear, please feel free to share it. Hoping a bunch of people start using it. It's kind of weird. I put this up this morning and then somehow it says it has like 50 downloads. I don't know how that happened, but that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know how much more I can ramble all this npm installs. Cool. I think it's almost there. Yeah, it's taking a little longer than usual. So I'm probably up with my internet. While that's going, we can kind of take a look at some of the roadmap items. So I'm planning to actually release version 1.0 of this in somewhere around January of 2020. So you'll see right now the version is at 0.0.5. Reason it's not at 0.0.1 is because had some bugs, had to get those fixed before I did this stream. But these are some of the things that I'm hoping to do for the 1.0 release. So definitely revamping the README and documentation how to use GraphQL, implementing tests for the code, implementing full 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 CRUD functionality for the initial GraphQL schema. So you get like a schema for free when you install this. It doesn't have full CRUD functionality in there just yet. I'm going to implement that in a future version, but it has a couple things for you to get started and just some optimization stuff using things like data loader. And I've got some stretch goals at the bottom. So yeah, awesome. It has finished. So let's get that opened up. I use VS Code. You can use basically whatever you want. Doesn't matter to me. Wow, my computer's slow. I think I mentioned in my last stream that I haven't um, restarted my computer in a while, and I still haven't restarted my computer since then. It's been like a few days, so it's probably why it's not running so great right now. So right off the bat, you get this is your kind of structure over here. Um, I would just rename this example.env to just .env. Same with this example.getIgnore. You can also just completely remove them and write them however you want, but at least the .env you shouldn't remove. You're going to need this Mongo URI. So I already have a Mongo URI kind of set up. Let me go grab that. There it is. So I use MongoDB Atlas just to create a quick cluster for this. I'm going to enter my password in here for you all to see. It's a super secure password. It's totally okay because this cluster is going to be destroyed right after this stream. This is just for testing purposes. Cool. So we've got the Mongo URI. So quick run through. Just got some Babel stuff going. Stuff to let you use import and to let you import GraphQL without having to use like GQL and put it in a string or whatever. So you'll actually be able to use GraphQL files if you go into any of these models here for my posts. I have a GraphQL schema set up here. We're not going to worry about posts. I put in like two different types in here just to like show you that you can do multiple types and break them down into different folders. All of this gets basically pumped in and put in through the schema over here. All your resolvers are put in over here. I'm just using Lodash to merge them all. And we've got all of our models here. This is following a pattern where we're exposing all of our models to context. So if you go into the index.js and the root file, you'll see that, actually, wrong. If you look in the index.js file of the API, you'll see what I'm passing through. I have my type depths for my schema, my resolvers for my resolvers, and then I'm passing this context, which is my models. What this lets you do is that when you go into your individual resolvers for any of these, you get access to all of your models through this context argument. So I find that probably like a lot better than importing your models on every single resolver. This also like gives you access to any um, of your models straight from any resolver. So if you're doing some crazy stuff where you need to update multiple tables with one resolver or something, not sure why, but if you run into something like that, you can do that without importing like a whole bunch of models. So here's something I found useful. Um, and yeah, so that's the basic structure. Let's test it out, make sure it works. So let's head over here, put in my MongoDB URI and everything. So if we run an npm start, cool. Come on. There we go. And you'll get this message, servers blasting off to localhost 4000 / GraphQL. Let's open that up. Got your GraphQL playground right here. If you look in your docs, you should see the user and post queries as well as a mutation that I have set up. So let's do this. Let's create a user. So we've got create user, which is our mutation. It takes an input of new user input. So new user input is just going to be an object with these three properties over here. So let's do mutation. And it's going to take an input of, what was it called again? Create new user. Yeah, new user input. New user input. The actual mutation is called create user. And the input is just going to be that input variable we got up there. Cool. And that's some of the stuff you can get back is the ID, username, email, and avatar link created at, updated at. We'll just do ID and username, email, and avatar for now. Create. So we go into our query variables, and we need to give this an input. The cool thing about setting it up this way, once you get this working, you can straight up copy and paste this into your front end. And this is like exactly the way your query needs to be structured on the front end for it to work. So we got our input. Cool thing is you press Control Space, it tells you all the stuff you need. And all of these are strings, very helpful. So username we'll just say is Rahat. Email we'll say, I'll just put in my actual email, Rahat at rahatcodes. So this is both helpful and annoying. It has like this little pop-up thing of like object type. Still missing an avatar. Like, yeah, I know, I'm getting to that. Okay. And we'll just say my avatar lives at google.com. Doesn't really matter right now. Great. Play. Awesome. That was made. Let's make someone else. I don't know. Billy. It's not just a generic name. One of my best friends is named Billy. So Billy at rahatcodes.com. And not google.com. Cool. We've got Billy in there too. All right. So don't need these anymore. Let's run a query to make sure that stuff worked. Run our query for all of our users. Let's just get the ID and username of all of them. And wonderful. We've got Rahat and Billy. We've got their IDs just generated automatically by MongoDB. In the back end, we've got Mongoose kind of handling everything on the resolvers. And let's take a look also at my MongoDB cluster. Let me bring that over here. MongoDB.com. Just to, prove that It was actually saved somewhere. Oh no, it's making me log in again. Why are you doing this while I'm on the stream? Come on. Okay. Cool. I really like MongoDB Atlas for just doing stuff like this rather than like creating a MongoDB database locally. This is fun. On our collections. So see in our collections, we've got posts and users. We haven't added any posts yet, but if we go to users, ha, we've got Rahat and Billy all saved in our database. So this is for, again, GraphGoose is really just for spinning up a quick backend that lets you play around with the GraphQL API, lets you hit your MongoDB database using Mongoose as the ORM. And yeah, this is the, like I said, the very first version, the beta version. Technically not the first version. I just wanted to put this out just to see what people think, see if anyone wanted to contribute to it. Like I said, this is an open source tool that I'm hoping to continuously improve. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, share, use it, play around with it. That would mean the world to me. Thank you for tuning in and have a great night or morning or whatever time it is.